Good afternoon, guys. Good.
What were your takeaways from that last Packers drive? I mean, big picture of what went wrong there.
Yeah, just technique. I think just overall things we can learn from and we'll grow from it, get better from it. But just overall technique. It starts with me. I got to coach it better, and we got to execute it better. So that's it there.
After the game, Jimmy Ward alluded to maybe some communication issues just with the amount of corners going through. Was there an issue on that last completion to Adams where Jimmy seemed to be kind of scrambling at the snap there?
We just got to get a line. Got to get a line. We got to communicate better. We got to get a line faster, and we just got to play our technique better. And our guys, we've talked about those things, addressed them, and that's just overall just the process of everything has to be better.
Fred said he thought maybe he should have on that last snap throw to Adams, not been so close to the line of scrimmage, been 5 yards back. Given that situation, why weren't your linebackers back?
Yeah, we could have been back, but at the end of the day, like I said, it was technique things there at the end that we could have done better, and it all starts with me, and it starts with me first, and we'll learn from it and get better from it.
The pass interference penalties, it seems like every week there's multiple ones, which isn't great. Is there something that you can do technique-wise to have these guys slow those down and then?
Yeah, the PIs, guys just have to be confident when the ball is in the air. That's just it. The technique is there. Guys are tight in coverage. Just the technique there when the catch point is about to happen. Guys just have to be cleaner at the catch point.
Wide nine certainly has its strengths. It seems that one weakness might be that it makes it easier for the offense to chip the defensive ends. Do you feel like you need to vary your fronts to protect against that, or is there a different solution?
Oh, yeah. When you have a great rusher like Bosa, teams, they have to find a way to handle him, and that's what teams have been doing. They've been chipping him a lot, and he's garnered a lot of attention because of the type of player that he is. Great players, you got to handle them, and that's what teams are doing against him. They're chipping him.
What can you do to help him? It is the wide nine making it a big.
Yeah, it's not anything to do with the wide nine from that standpoint. It's just he's a defensive end. No matter what alignment you're in, if you're there, the guys motion down and they can chip you. So we'll have some different things to do to help Bosa with that. Of course, you don't want him. You see him the way they're chipping him, right? The violent chips that he's getting. It's I hate to see it for him. First and foremost, it's a health and safety issue that I think needs to be addressed. But we have to do a better job of just helping him with some calls there.
Do you feel they're not legal hits?
No, I'm just saying it has to be addressed the way they're coming and chipping him. Yeah.
When the teams getting the ball out as quick as they were against you guys, how do you kind of walk the line between what you're pressing up in coverage and things like that versus wanting to get your defensive line a chance to rush?
Yeah, it's all a mixture of as much as you can, right? Just mixing it up. There'll be times when we're pressed, times we're not pressed, and those different times in the game, different situations call for different techniques, and we'll just mix it up and go from there.
What's the message to the cornerbacks this week with Russell coming in knowing he's going to take a couple of downfield shots like he does every day?
Yeah, we know Seattle is a very explosive offense. That's how they get things going, how they score points. They're very explosive. Both wide receivers on the outside, 14 and 16, are explosive guys. And Russell he's a big-time playmaker. He's done it for a long time in his league. He knows how to buy time in the pocket, probably as best as anyone that I've seen. And just have to stay alert. No matter whether it's quick routes, they can all turn into double moves. So our corners, everybody have to stay alert. Corners, safety, linebackers, everybody has to be aware of that.
How do you think Mosley did in the Green Bay game?
Say it again.
How do you think Emmanuel Mosley did in week 3?
I think Mosley he was good. First game back. It's he's come a long way from the process he had to battle back from the injury and get back. So I'm just happy for Mosley he's able to go out there. But like anyone, first game back, it's of course a little rusty, but he's done an excellent job for us. Mosley is a great communicator. He's been really good for us in the back end.
How do you assess your run defense right now?
Run defense, we have to play better, and it starts up front with our interior, our D line, linebackers. Everybody has to play better. The run game is not on anyone in particular, but it's all about a mindset. So in the run game, we have to do better. We have to be more physical. We have to knock back and make sure we're the aggressor in the run game.
Going into week 4 now, it's a new position for you. Do you feel like you're right up to where you should be? Is there anything that has been more challenging to you than you thought it might be?
I think every week presents its own set of different challenges. So every week, just learning as much as I can every week, and it's been good. I mean, I have a lot of great guys on the staff that have been great assets, and it's been good. Like you said, every week it's something different that comes up every week. Not a just set way things are gonna go. It's things you have to look out for, but it's just trying to prepare as best we can every week for whatever can be thrown our way.
When you watch the Seahawks offense on film, do you see the Rams' influence?
Definitely, you see a mix of the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks offense kind of mixed together. Whether it's a run game with the Rams and also pass concepts that kind of stayed over from Seattle, you see really those guys married up really well, and the schemes kind of fit each other, pretty smooth. And it seems like it's been an easy transition, for Russell and those guys to handle those concepts that they're doing.
Adams last week. This week it's DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. How do you get your cornerbacks more adjusted and ready for those two players?
Yeah, everybody has to be. It's first off, it starts mentally. You have to be up for the challenge mentally. We're going against great receivers, and that's every week in this league. You're gonna face. If you're facing a good team, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have some good studs on the outside at receiver. So that's the position, that cornerback, that safety position. That's what those guys thrive for, going up against the best, and they know the challenge, and they just have to own up to the challenge and just compete every snap. Every snap we line up, we got to compete. It doesn't matter who we line up against. We're going to give them our best.
You prepared your defensive backs for tackling DK Metcalf. Do you almost make them think of him like he's a tight end, like they need to go a little bit lower?
Guys just need to – tackling is about swarming. It's not about one guy. It's about all 11 guys swarming. That's what tackling is about. So, your aiming point has to be good. It's strike zone, aim through the strike zone, and guys just have to wrap up. And second man in, third man in, everybody is swarming to the ball.
Can you just go back to Sunday night? What was post-game like for you? Did you immediately go watch film? Did you stay here? What was the 24-hour rule with you?
No, it's like any other game. First off, for me, I don't sleep after the games. I'm just up after whether win or loss. I don't sleep either way. So just up, you watch the game over again, see where do we excel, things we did well, I just go through and review the game, no matter win or loss. You go through and review the things, see what you did good, what you didn't do well, what do you have to improve on, and that won't change. Whether it's a win or a loss, that process doesn't change at all for me.
You watch by yourself, or you watch with the coaches?
Yeah, I first off watch the game by myself, and then we come together as a coaching staff and watch it together.
Not sleeping after a game, did that start when you were a player?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much adrenaline, just rushing, just up, can't go to sleep. All right, thank you guys.
you don't mind, I'd like to start today. It was a very special occasion. My daughter Ayla turns 1 year old on Saturday, so I'd like to wish her a happy birthday. You guys down with that? AYLA. Well, hey, I'll sing on Saturday. You guys gonna be there? No?
Invited?
Ah, sorry. What do we got?
Why has it been so difficult to get the run game going?
That's a kind of a loaded question. Running the football is a team effort. You need to have the opportunities to run it. When you get your opportunities, you need to execute it. So sometimes, in given situations, whether a defense does something you're expecting or you plan for it, you have to, and you don't execute something 1 or 2 times, and you get behind the chains or you're in second and longs, it kind of builds upon itself, So it's like anything else; it's a rhythm, and when you struggle to get in the rhythm, it sometimes takes a while to get it going. I think for our offense, there's been times where we haven't gotten the results we've wanted on a run play, and then all of a sudden we make a big play on third down, and hey, we get another op. So it's kind of snowballs on itself. It's definitely not something we plan for, but you deal with it and try to learn from it and move forward.
Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle both seem to say the reason the running game isn't working is that you're getting looks or fronts that they're not prepared for, I think was their term. What do you make of that?
No, was that George after the game?
Yeah, Jimmy yesterday.
Yeah, they that's something that in the heat of battle, especially after the game, you're trying to figure out exactly why something didn't work or whatever, and guys on our team put in a lot of effort, time, and take pride in running the ball well. So to a degree, defenses have something to do with that. It also has to do with how we plan and prepare them. It also has to do with them executing stuff that the next day on tape, I know George sees stuff and he's like, hey, we could have done this, that, or whatever. So it's a little bit of it, but it's not the entirety by any stretch. There's not, we've been dealing with going against uncharted looks since 2018 in the run game, and we don't expect that to change. But shoot, a team might come out and do exactly what they've done to every other team, and because certain players give forth certain effort, it happens, and you have to learn from it, and that's what it's all about. It's about building so that you can run the ball down the stretch of the season when the games are as equally important, if not more.
How did Trey Sermon fare throughout the course of the game? Did you see an evolution with him, improvement as the game went on?
Yeah, no, there were definite things that he improved on as the game wore on. There was also things that he really, he'd been shortchanged in terms of he hasn't played tackle football that much. When you really think about it, he had the COVID year, and then going into this season, we have padded practices, but we're not going to the ground. And then preseason, he got dinged. So there was some as he did get better, and there was also things in his play that we looked at. And we're like, hey, here's another thing that you can improve on. What I will say is probably as much, if not more than any player on the team this week, you can tell that he learned from the experience. He had as deliberate of a week practicing as anybody. I think a lot of players on our team are very confident in him moving forward. I know he's confident and excited for the opportunity, and just excited to continue to progress.
He at all at fault on the screen that turned into the backwards pass? I mean, was that bad timing from a lot of people on that play?
Sure. That's the one of the things that's very important to be a good team in the NFL is that from coaches down, you all feel responsible for the outcome of a play. So you're really in trouble if a guy is like, "Oh, it's not my fault." You need guys to say, "Well, I could have," and he's no exception. We haven't, and we can look at it from a coaching staff perspective, me specifically, and immediately after the game, I'm thinking to myself, okay, did we put him in that position enough? And even if you did, you're still thinking to yourself, what could I have done? He definitely thinks, hey, I could have got out there faster. That it was a situation that when you watch the play, Jimmy Garoppolo is doing a play fake. His back is to the defense. And if you can put yourself in his shoes, he is not expecting what happened where there's a guy in his face. So that has to do with timing. And we want the offensive line to be perfect in timing, but we coach the back, hey, you could make this all right if you're a little further out and a little more urgent. So he was a part of it, but we're all a part of it. It's the way we try to look at it.
That play, ideally, how long do you want Lakin to hold 97?
Well, I mean, I can't give you the secrets to the sauce, but let's just say we would prefer, and that goes for guard and center. We'd prefer not to have a defensive lineman in the face of Jimmy Garoppolo. So we were trying to adjust the timing relative to their pass rush, and we didn't get it done collectively as an offense.
On the go-ahead touchdown drive, George Kittle made a couple big plays there.
Yes, he did.
In between, I think, two of his receptions looked like is when his calf tightened up on him. But he didn't come out of the game, obviously. He played all the way through it. What does he mean in those situations, and how important is it that he's on
That's
it?
great observation, good eyes. He has what we like to call competitive greatness, which I think John Wooden defined as being your best when your best is required, or being your greatest when your greatest is required. You guys aren't quoting me on that, right? But he exhibits that all the time. He makes plays in games that we've never seen him make in practice, because the moment, the adrenaline, it works in his favor. So when you're in need of safe throws, but you need a lot of yards, it's a great option for us, because we know that it's going to take a very good tackler to bring him down, and we're going to be able to get yards, and we trust him with the ball. So he gives a ton of juice and life to all of his teammates and coaches.
I mean, and this is, like you said, I mean, he's unique in that way, but you see that rubbing off on any other. Is there another guy that's you can see adapting to that?
Oh, for sure. That happens all the time in football, whether it's route running, whether it's the being exposed to certain types of players. I can remember as a receiver coach studying Keenan Allen coming out of Cal, and like every receiver for the next 3 years had certain releases that were just like, wow, he's definitely rubbed off on them. It happens all the time in football. George Kittle and running with the ball in his hands is no exception. So we coach Deebo Samuel all the time. We're in the process of coaching Brandon Ayuk all the time. We coach running backs all the time, because it's all the same relative to you have the ball in your hands and you're trying to maximize the amount of yards you're getting. So look at how George attacks the edge of a defender. Look at how his turnover, he keeps his turnover going, his pad level, his strain. So it's very beneficial to all of his teammates, kind of painting a picture. I firmly believe that Brett Favre had a little something to do with the way Aaron Rodgers plays. That stuff kind of snowballs, or players pick up on that and apply it to their game.
Deebo, Kyle mentioned yesterday that one of the things he improved was his route running, just kind of being more of a complete receiver.
Yeah.
I'm curious, is there ways that you have been able to use him more in, he has more an advanced route tree or things like that?
For sure. Deebo is, it's a very cool thing to watch, because Deebo's a player that if you take the time and you're able to show him exactly what you want, there's nothing he's not there. He is willing to do whatever it takes to improve upon it, and you just have to. It's your job as a coach to best articulate that through film and whatever to show him how he can get better. I know he wants to be great, and the best thing about him is he is not satisfied. He's been able to really expand his route tree. He's a great person to get the ball to, so that's great news for the 49ers. And so he's expanded the way that we've been able to get him the ball.
Brandon Ayuk was on the field a lot more.
Who?
Brandon Ayuk was on the
Yeah.
field a lot more this week. Is that a plan ahead of the game? Was it what he has improved on in practice, or did
Yeah, no, it was he had been earning the right to be on the field more. I don't think any of us were foreseeing the ratio of reps going as extreme as it did. Again, that's game circumstance. Part of the residuals of a choppy start or having not sustaining drives is you don't get into a routine that Wes is used to where you can sub people in and out. So you get these shorter drives. So it just kind of happened that way. But I wouldn't expect it to happen in the future. We love what Trent offers us. He plays fast and physical and makes plays. We knew that Brandon was going to play more. I don't think we knew it was going to be the ratio it was.
Mike, both Jimmy and George have talked about what the Packers did specifically in the run game, take away the outside zone. It was kind of different and unique than what y'all had seen in the past. Did they express confidence that there would be a counter and figure that out? Is that accurate? I mean, was it like, geez,
I mean, it wasn't earth-shattering or mind-blowing. We kind of had an idea what they were going to do, and it was in the family of that. But that's part of our jobs. That's part of you put play concepts in so that they can learn rules that can apply to any defense. And there's a cost benefit for everything you do. It's one of the reasons why the running game didn't get going is because, hey, they have 6 on the line of scrimmage. That's a lot of people. Who's defending pass plays? So we should probably pass. You know what I mean? So it all snowballs on itself. Then if you're able to sustain drives more and you're in a tight game, you can earn those run plays back. You know, you have to be willing to attack the defense where they're most vulnerable. And we don't go into games just being hard-headed and saying, "Hey, we're gonna run it and we're gonna run it 40 times regardless." There are defenses that dictate, okay, well, hey, it's probably not smart to bang our head against the wall. We should probably do something to make them pay for their adjustment to our run game. All right.
out of halftime angrier versus the Packers? Was there a mental adjustment, or you just was more aggressive?
I just say I was just more aggressive. I was as an offense, we wasn't happy with our performance the first half, and as you can see, second half we just picked it up and just got moving.
Can you talk about just the third down passing that you and Jimmy have a good combination on third down, and how you got in sync so well with that situation?
Say it again.
Just how well you and Jimmy are in sync on third downs.
As a receiver, you just go out there and certain plays it's coming, certain plays you don't. Towards the end of the game, the ball that I caught on third down, like we call that play almost every day at practice and never throw the route, and just so happened the ball just came. And so as a receiver, we just go out there and make plays.
I know you touched on this in the past, but you and Brandon were pretty bummed when Lowe was released last year. What is it about him? I mean, obviously he's been around as a veteran, but what is it about him that has kind of created that connection?
Just the energy. As you can see, like as a young receivers, like me, Brandon, and the other guys, and you just have somebody that's just like kind of have the same energy as you do as practice, and he's been around a long time, so he get a lot of respect for us, and just a lot of like things, like little things like coverages, not like you don't see a lot, and he just adjust on the fly and kind of give you tips of how to beat it and just stuff like that. So just bring it a long way.
You mentioned y'all were very excited when he got signed in the offseason. You said there was a FaceTime call almost immediately.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was just me, BA, and Mo just congratulating him on being back and just knowing the things that he did for us before he left, and he just brought it right back.
Can you walk us through that catch you made on the last drive? It seemed like there was his hand was there. Do you even realize that how close he is, how much he's on you in that moment? Or
After I watched it, he was pretty close. But as I was running the route, I kind of like felt him on my back and just knew we needed to convert on third down in order to give us a chance to win the game. It was just very aggressive hands. Just went out there and made the play.
Daniel talked about your development of your route tree. How has that learning process been? What have you done? How has the process been to learn that or add to your repertoire?
As Mike said, pretty good guy with the ball in my hands, and it's just a plus to be able to go out there and run routes this off season. Most things I was doing is getting in shape, boosting my stamina, and just running routes. Not too much of lifting because I'm already like a big kind of heavier guy, so it's just more route runners and just getting in shape.
The Seahawks, what's the scouting report on their secondary?
We just gonna go out there and be us and just let everything take control.
Get to know DK Metcalf at all in 2019 during that draft?
We trained together. It was me, him, AJ, and a lot of other guys. So we had a real good connection there.
What can you say about him? What makes him stand out? And
He's big, fast, and can move. To be that big and to move that fast is pretty impressive.
you see that your evolution is kind of similar to his in terms of expanding the route tree?
No, sir.
No. What's different?
He's a bigger, faster guy, and he just go out there and he just himself. I don't compare myself to him.
How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm great. I'm blessed.
What extra fire up that you guys get playing a division rival? I mean, how much knowing the history between the 49ers and Seahawks, what does that do this week? Add any fuel to it?
It adds a lot of fuel. I mean, it's a division game. We know the ones where we got to win now, so we ain't scrapping at the end of the season. So it's big.
Yeah, obviously, Aaron was getting the ball out very quick, and a lot of things went into it. But I assume you want more pressure, just as a collective front. What was that? I guess disappointing. Just the performance from a pass rush perspective on Sunday.
Of course, we can't be satisfied with one sack. We gotta every opportunity we gotta get one. As talented we are, so any opportunity we have, we gotta get home.
What needs to change, I guess, as far as that?
The Packers did a great job of scheming us up. Like you said, he was getting it off in Lord knows 1 point whatever. But it's really up to us. The ball's always going to be in our court when it comes to, because we're so talented. Like I said, we just got to get home and the opportunities that we do get. So.
Kind of describe what it's like watching film in the defensive line room and seeing Nick Bosa getting doubled and chipped and kind of blindsided by guys coming in.
It is what it is. They schemed us up. Week by week, we're going to get schemed up different ways. If they're chipping our ends or doubling our tackles inside, somebody should be one-on-one. Somebody's got to win. It does hurt just watching that, but it's the game. And we got to scheme that up as well, and that's what we're doing. So.
Can you tell us about your shirt?
I'm glad you asked. What do you get from it?
That there should be other forms of progress as opposed to just
that's what I got. I just got it, but when I read it, I saw, so many people in prisons for so many different offenses. So we got to do better as a country. We want better, so we got to do better.
Does money go to a certain?
Yes, ma'am. I'll have to look into that for you. I'll answer that for you in a different time, but I was just given to it after practice, so, and I felt like wearing it, so.
How do you feel like Javon Kinlaw's development has been this year?
Great. He's like I said it last year, he's a man. He's a grown man. He's bulked up. He's more in tune with the game. In different aspects of the game, he's more in tune. So the more that he develops and the more he wants to learn, he'll be a better player. Thank y'all.
Good, how are you?
Let's see, you've only faced Russell Wilson twice, right? You haven't sacked him yet. Do you keep track of which quarterbacks you've got and which ones you haven't?
I definitely know, but yeah, I'd like to get him for sure.
What mentality do you have to have with him as opposed to other quarterbacks? Because it seems like he may try to buy time in the pocket more than an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, definitely. Just knowing where he likes to escape each way, and knowing that he's going to hold on to it, and that you got to keep going in your rush, even if you think you're blocked. You just got to keep going, and but not get too out of your rush either, to where you're letting him find that escape route that he wants.
Ask you specifically what the scouting report is, but do you have, or do you guys, defensive linemen, have a scouting report for each quarterback on those things, like where that guy tends to go when the pressure comes?
Yeah, we have a cut up every week. Chris makes a cut up of him running, and so every week we have an idea of where he likes to escape, and obviously in our division it's pretty important.
Does their escape route develop or change throughout their seasons?
I feel like it's pretty similar always. They do the same stuff, like if pressure's coming from a certain way, they usually do the same thing to escape it, and just have to be ready for that.
Analytics question, but do you know how many times about you were getting chipped?
No, but it's been a lot this year. We gotta start doing some stuff to fix that.
That would be like run some games where you're.
Yeah, games, certain chip beaters that Chris has used over the years, and we just got to get them called and execute them. And I just need to be better off of the chips. I have to not just stand there like I'm shocked that it's happening. And yeah, we could do a lot of things.
You want to do a better job of seeing them coming, or what can you do?
Just, I don't know, expect it more and get back to my rush quicker. I kind of just sat there and took it against Green Bay and felt sorry for myself. So I need to just be ready for it. And I just didn't expect it quite as much, but it's coming.
Did you notice that you were doing that during the game, just kind of taking it, or was it after when you saw it on tape?
Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to stay inside. It's tough when they're aligned so wide, because if I get so wide, then I'm like 15 yards from the quarterback anyway. So yeah, I try to stay inside, but then sometimes they would motion them in, so that's kind of tough because I'm locked in on what I have to do, and somebody motions in and hits me in the back. It's tough on those, but the ones where he is standing there, I have to just be more aware.
Are offenses playing you differently than they did your rookie season 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Oh, chip beater. Can you explain exactly? I think I have an idea, but.
Yeah, just certain techniques where I don't want to give away our chip beaters, but like he said, certain games where you just stunt a certain way, and just when it's obvious, when there's a back on one side and a tight end off the ball on third down on the other side, each side is going to get chipped. So just running games and chip beaters.
Your second to last play, you did run it. Looks like you ran a stunt and you got pressure up the middle.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
I don't think he was chipping on that one, actually. So the one time I could have actually gotten a rush.
Yeah. Obviously, you alluded to that, but that is one way to avoid that, and that seemed to be fairly effective.
Yeah, that worked for sure. That is actually one of the ones we use, but there's other ones that we didn't get to. I'm not sure why, but we're definitely going to be better about it.
I asked DeMeco this question, is what was it like after, like, how did you spend the 24 hours after the game? Like, do you immediately watch tape? Do you, like, unwind, crash, eat? What goes on?
I was pretty annoyed. I just, well, the 24 hours we were in here, so at night I just called my loved ones and tried to get my mind off of it that night, and then the next day, we had a pretty, I don't know what to call it, but we had some interesting meetings that we had to own up to it, and a lot of us didn't do the job that we definitely could have done. Obviously, there's a couple injuries, but we expect everybody to be able to do the job, and a lot of us didn't. So
Better to have a wake-up call like that early in the season?
yeah, that's what we were talking about. It's definitely good. It's a long year, and it's tough when you think you definitely just see the things that could have easily won the game for us, and we didn't execute. But if we avoid those for the rest of the year, we'll be good.
Last one. Obviously, you guys want to win every game, particularly in the division, but is there a sense of, like an understanding of how tough this division is that puts more emphasis on games like Sunday and the following?
Yeah, definitely. It's a tough division, but I feel like the NFL right now is super competitive all around. I look at my brother's division, and he's dealing with some really good teams every week as well. So it's just kind of what the NFL is. Just really disciplined, good teams every single week. And if you're not on your stuff, then you could easily wind up losing every game. So we got to be ready every week. Thanks.
More execution than schematics?
A little bit of both. Yeah, that we need to improve on. I think everybody would agree on that.